Hi friends at home. In this video I'll be doing today's math lesson with you. I am on page 509. It is lesson 13.7. We're going to be comparing two-dimensional and three-dimensional shapes. Now I started talking to you a little bit about this in yesterday's lesson when I was showing you with the Play-Doh how you can take a three-dimensional shape, press it into the Play-Doh, and see what two-dimensional shapes make it up. So that's pretty much what we're working on today. It says Frank traces one flat surface of a cube. What shape does he make? Well, if I take a cube and I trace one flat surface of the cube, I'm going to end up with a square shape. My pen wasn't wanting to work there. There we go. Just like if I were to press that down into the Play-Doh. The flat surface of solids, these flat surfaces, are two-dimensional shapes, and we call those plane shapes. Okay, so the rectangle, circle, and square are all plane shapes. So rectangle, circle, square, those are 2D plane shapes. One of the surfaces of our 3D shapes will be those plane shapes. So basically, if you think about it, it's like we use our 2D shapes to build our 3D shapes. So looking down here at the bottom, it says draw a line to match the plane shape with the flat surface of the solid shape. So you need to think to yourself, if I were to take some Play-Doh and press this shape into it, what would the 2D shape be? You could also think if I were to put it down and trace it like a stencil, what shape would I get? So starting with our cylinder here, if I press it into the Play-Doh, you can see the 2D shape it makes is a circle. So you can go ahead and connect your circle to your cylinder. Now, let's look at the other shapes here. Oh boy, I got some Play-Doh stuck to my paper. That's okay. Let's look at the other shapes here and decide if I were to press my rectangular prism, that rectangle shape, into the paper, what shape would I get? Well, I can see that one of these faces is a rectangle. So we can connect the rectangular prism to the rectangle. And the final shape there, cube and a square, here's my cube. It has all these flat faces, and one of my faces is shaped like a square. So I can connect the cube to the square. Now some of you are probably feeling like this feels really easy, and that's good if it does, because for some people shapes and spatial relation and things like that come really easily. For other people it doesn't come as easily, so we're going to keep practicing it, but just know that whether this feels easy or not, by the end of the chapter you will have it down. So go ahead now and turn to the next page. You're going to need a blue and a red crayon or marker or colored pencil. And it says use blue to color any solid shape where you could trace a circle. So if I were to take the cube, there's really no way that I could get a circle because I don't see any circles on the cube. So that one wouldn't work. If I were to take the sphere and trace it, I would definitely get a circle. So we can go ahead and color the sphere blue. If I were to trace the cylinder here, the side is not a circle, but each of my ends, my flat surfaces, are circles. So it says color the solid shape you could trace a circle. So if I color here, I could trace a circle, and here the ends would be circles. Okay. And you can color the whole shape in too if you want. I was just coloring the ends to show you that they were circles. Looking at my cone, while the cone has this point and these, rounded edges, we definitely have a base that is shaped like a circle. So we can go ahead and color the cone blue as well, because I could trace the bottom of the cone to get that circle. And I think that's it, because my rectangular prism, there are no circles on it. Now it says use your red crayon to color any solid shapes where you could trace a square. Well, the last two shapes are my cube, which I know is made up of squares, so I can color that one red for sure. And now let's talk about this rectangular prism. While These four sides of the rectangular prism are rectangles, not squares. If I flip it up on its end, my two long ends of my rectangular prism are definitely squares. So these two you can color red to show that it is made up of rectangles and squares. Okay? All right, now down the problem solving says Ed has a solid shape with only two flat surfaces. Circle that shape. Well, let's count the flat surfaces and see. This is a cube. We know a cube has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 flat surfaces, so it's not the cube. This is a rectangular prism. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 flat surfaces, so it can't be that one. I'm looking for 2. And here, the cylinder, this top one is a flat surface, and the bottom is a flat surface. So we can circle the cylinder. That is the shape with only two flat surfaces. So now, what solid shape can you make using the faces shown? So if we were to put these together like a puzzle, they want to know what shape it could make. Well, if we took our four rectangles and put them together like this, one rectangle, and then if we put another one here, and then another one down there, like that. Okay, there we go. Perfect. I'm trying my best here, guys. 4 rectangles with 2 squares on the end would give us a rectangular prism. So do your best right now to draw a rectangular prism, and if it's not perfect, don't worry. Just do your best. Or you can write out rectangular prism. And the reason we know that is because if we were to take this shape and trace all 4 sides and then trace both ends and then fold it up, we would have a rectangular prism. Okay? All right, let's go on now to the next page. It says circle any solid shape with a flat surface that matches the plane shape at the beginning of each row. So for this one, we're looking for a rectangle, and we know that our rectangular prism has a rectangle. Here, we're looking for a circle. Well, our cylinder has circles on the end, but so does our cone, so we can circle both of those. And for the square, I know I could press the cube and get lots of squares, or I could press the ends of my rectangular prism and get squares as well. Okay, on to the back of the next page. It says match the plane shape with the shaded flat surface. So here they said that this one is going to the cube. There's a shaded square. Now we're looking for a shaded circle, and I see that the cylinder here has a shaded circle. And the last one is looking for a shaded rectangle, and we can see that the bottom of the rectangular prism is a rectangle. Again, if this feels really easy, that's good because we don't want it to be super difficult, but we also want to make sure you have a complete understanding before we move on to more difficult content. So Pam draws a solid shape with flat surfaces. So Pam has flat surfaces. Eva and Lucy draw shapes with curved surfaces. Eva can trace her shape to make a circle. Which person draws each shape? Okay, so Pam's has only flat. So this must be Pam because it has only flat. So we'll put Pam for number 1. Eva and Lucy both have curves, and these both have curves, but Eva can trace her shape to make a circle. Well, I feel like I could trace either one of those and get a circle. So I think that these could be either one. But let's go with Eva has the cone and Lucy has the sphere. Okay? All right, Stephen and Josh look at a solid shape. It has one flat surface that is a circle. Okay, one flat surface that's a circle. Stephen says it's a cylinder. Josh says it's a cone. Who is right? Well, a cylinder has 2 flat surfaces. A cone only has 1. So, if Josh says it's a cone, Josh is right. Okay, friends, I hope that this was an easy lesson for you. We'll continue working with 3-dimensional shapes for the rest of this week. And I will see you again soon. Bye.